Okay, we're going to be looking at the Android head unit replacement for the MX-5 Miata ND. My car is a 2023, so I know it works all the way up to the newest version. The install, I would say if 10 is the hardest, 1 being the easiest, I would say it's a good solid 5. You have to take the dash apart. You're going to have to pull this out. You're going to have to pull the stock head unit out, run quite a bit of wires, but all of that is included, and it's not too difficult. They're basically harnesses that plug in on one side and plug in on the other. They go in between the head unit, your stock head unit, and allow it to communicate to the Android box. I did have some difficulty running one of the adapter wires, trying to locate it. After speaking with the seller, I was able to find it. Kind of a pain, but it's up basically on the right hand side, kick panel, like way up in there. But I did eventually find it. I also ran the trigger wire for the stock camera. So if you use reverse, it instantly puts it in reverse, and the stock camera works perfectly, which is really good, and it comes on very quickly. The head unit doesn't really have to be connected in CarPlay mode or anything for it. The camera to work, I can start it up, and as soon as the screen is on, I can put it in reverse, and I have reverse. So speaking of that, this is a piggyback system. Okay, what that means is it works in junction with the stock unit. So I'm going to demo that right now. I'm going to go back. Now this is the Android. This is Android. This is skin to look factory, which I think they did a fantastic job. It looks really good. And the nice thing is the scroll wheel, the stock scroll wheel, works. So what I'm looking at right now, this is the stock head unit, and the reason why there's a Mazda thing right here is because the stock head unit is this aspect ratio. It's kind of funky, but it is what it is. I prefer this as opposed to stretching it the whole way and making everything look kind of weird. So this allows you to go into the stock head unit and make any changes, or change anything that you may want to in the car, without having to put the stock screen back in, because it's allowing the pass-through of the stock system to go through. Touchscreen works, everything works, the controls work normally. Okay, I believe if you touch this, it takes you back to the Android. Nope, it might be this back button. Okay, yeah, it's the back button. So from this screen, you can go, this is the full Android, and you can go into this, and this is where all the applications are installed. So these are all the stock applications that it comes with. The car UI, obviously, being the car UI. Some of these, I don't know what they are. The equalizer is pretty cool. So I have the equalizer adjusted for my settings that I like. And again, I'm using the controls down by the shifter. You can use those to navigate, or you can use the touchscreen to move around and stuff. Google Maps is installed, Netflix is installed. Not that I would condone using Netflix, but at least it's there. Who knows, you might be at Sonic Drive-In and want to watch a Netflix show while you're eating. Obviously, I don't condone using that while driving, but it is. YouTube is there as well. Now, I will say, if you use Android Auto or CarPlay, it is going to tie up the Wi-Fi connection. So you have to disconnect from that if you want to use a connection on the unit. Now, I have a SIM card. I don't have it installed yet, but I have a SIM card that should negate that, meaning this system's going to have data, and it'll be able to do whatever I want while also connected to CarPlay. Now, if we go into CarPlay, which is the CarLink app, of course, there it goes. I don't know, it's never done that before, but now CarPlay is open and you can still use the scroll wheel, or you can use your fingers. Fantastic. You know, it's awesome. It works. It connects within about 10 seconds of starting the car. I haven't had any issues with it. The audio is fine. Now, there is one weird glitch where the volume controls on the steering wheel seem to get out of sync with the volume control on here. But the volume control down by the shift knob works perfectly fine. I also will say the next track and previous track works just fine. I've been able to make a phone call just fine. I've been able to use Siri to send voice messages just fine. It all just seems to work really well. The cost on this, I want to say it's expensive, but at the same time, not really for what you're getting. So I paid like $600 for this full unit. I went with the top of the line, the most RAM, the most storage. I got 256 gigabytes of storage. I wanted to get, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to get the top of the line one. And this is the screen that shows when it's, connecting to the actual phone. So was it worth it? I say yes, because I need to have a touchscreen. I cannot stand not being able to use a touchscreen. The fact that it, did that, wouldn't let me use the touchscreen while I was driving, drove me absolutely bananas. I could not stand it. So now I get a touchscreen, I get a backup camera, I get the stock user interface, no problem. It looks factory. It looks like OEM plus to me. The screen is bigger, but it doesn't seem, I don't know. I'm tall enough. I guess if you were short, maybe it would take up more of the visible space, but to me, it seems to fit really well. And like I said, it just seems to be working really well. I haven't had run into any issues other than the volume issue. The screen looks really good. It's crisp. It's a high quality screen. This isn't a low resolution, kind of crappy screen. But we will see. I've had it for 3 days. Let's see in 3 months. What about in 3 years? I don't know. I do like the screen is separate from the actual body. So in the event that the screen does die, which I think would be the first thing that would fail, because it's going to be exposed to the sun, the heat, etc. I do like that I could probably purchase this screen, just the screen, and replace it and be done. It'd probably take me 30 minutes to pull the dash apart and take that out. Not a big deal. But yeah, I'm really thrilled with it. I think this is an awesome upgrade. I think if you can budget the money for it, and if you have a priority of wanting to use a touchscreen while driving, you want a better experience with, the head unit, I think it's awesome. It fits with the car and looks really well. And I just want to give a shout out to the people that purchased this before me. I'm not the first one. I only jumped in because I saw that it actually worked, and I spoke to the seller, and he is in China. I believe he's in Hong Kong. He's been really attentive to every question I had. He replied at 11 o'clock p.m. his time in China to answer questions before I purchased it, and at 8 o'clock in the morning his time when I had questions about the install. So overall, very pleased with it. Everything seems to be working just fine. I haven't had any, issues pop up. And yeah, so that's my initial review of the Android replacement head unit that has pass-through for the ND Miata. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm going to probably post another video in a month or so once I've used this device for a lot longer and figure out, hey, is it worth it? Does it work or does it not work? And I'll be the first one to say, don't waste your money if I run into big issues with it. So thanks for watching, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks.